support and interest tonight. So my name is Darla Cravotta. I work for County Executive Dan Monterado, so on behalf of him, I'd like to welcome you to the meeting. We are in a partnership, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania Environmental Council, and the Friends of the Riverfront all work to develop trails within Allegheny County as part of our comprehensive plan. And if you go online and take a look at our comprehensive plan online, we have a map of a trail system that encompasses all of Allegheny County, and then of course it goes out to different parts, because you don't stop a trail just because a county stops, right? You don't stop it. So you can go from Pittsburgh to, we're working to go from Pittsburgh to DC, from Pittsburgh to Harrisburg, from Pittsburgh to West Virginia and Ohio, on trail projects that folks like you are developing. So we're looking at this whole large regional trail system. Now we're here tonight to talk about a really special project that takes us from Pittsburgh, actually starting in Millville, all the way to Freeport Borough, and then on to Erie. So just imagine being able to go from the point to, what do they call it, the point to the park? Prescal, but there's some like snazzy, jazzy name, from the point to the park, from the park to the point. So imagine being able to ride your bike continuously, or walk if you would, from Pittsburgh to Erie. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. So we have 17 municipalities. It might seem impossible, but all things are possible when you look at being able to connect up segments, and there are segments in each part of this trail system. So this entire trail system has groups that have been working on trails. We have folks from the Armstrong County Trail tonight, right? You guys are back there. Do we have any other trail? We have Three Rivers Heritage Trail, which is a partnership of ours. We have folks from all over the place that are already working on this. So it's possible. It's just, it takes a lot of vision and a lot of time. So just to give you a taste, this started a couple of years ago. We got a call from a group of women, actually, who live in O'Hara Township. And they worked on Squaw Valley Park. And they put this great little loop around Squaw Valley, the lake inside of the park, and they took this trail down to the riverfront. And they were like, we want to go further. So we started talking to the Department of Conservation and Natural History, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. And we started looking at our riverfront. We realized that we have trail already built. We have trail in Millville. And we thought, can we connect? And here we are. So we have 26 miles, right, or 32 miles. 27 miles, it changes every day. Really, it gets bigger or smaller. We have 27 miles of trail to connect from Millville to Freeport Borough, and we're going to do it. So thank you for being here, and I'd like to turn this over to Hannah Hardy from Pennsylvania Environmental Council.
Thanks, Darla. I do want to acknowledge Tom Baxter. He's in the back of the room running our sign-in table, but he's the executive director of Friends of the Riverfront and set up the meeting and is really managing this project. My name is Hannah Hardy. I work at the Pennsylvania Environmental Council, and we, as Darla said, are very excited about the potential for regional trail connections. As I'm sure everybody in the room is, we are involved in several of the trail connections that Darla mentioned, and this one is really important. And I think the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail, once we can finish all our connections on the Great Allegheny Passage from Pittsburgh that connects to Cumberland, Maryland, you know, this is really going to, people are going to start turning right up the Allegheny River, and this is really going to continue to get more and more focus as the next big mega greenway in the state of Pennsylvania. So Darla talked about a small group of people who had come together in O'Hara Township. I'm just going to tell you how this process got started, and then I'll go ahead and introduce and turn this over to our consultants who will lead us through the planning effort that has been underway. So what we did was, there was some interest kind of in the middle, I guess the south middle of this whole alignment, and we were, you know, talking about ways to expand the project. We're going to look at developing a trail along the river. It didn't, you know, it did make sense to look just in O'Hara Township, but as Darla said, trails don't necessarily stop at municipal lines. So we started to, you know, what if we went down into Aspenwall or down, you know, further down towards the city, and then really with some pushing from the folks at DCNR, we were encouraged to put in a trail feasibility study application, a grant, to look at the whole alignment from Millvale up to Freeport Borough. So we were successful. O'Hara Township was actually our applicant, and we really thank them for stepping forward to be the applicant and in assisting with managing this application. The Fox Chapel District Association and their representatives here from the Fox Chapel District Association really did a lot in terms of advocating for that initial DCNR grant. So we were successful, all of us collectively, at getting a trail feasibility study grant that was matched by local resources. Municipalities along the way contributed not only time but also funding resources. We had private foundations who contributed resources, with help from Fox Chapel District Association, others who were raising funding, Artez, Allegheny River Towns, and the county. There were a variety of local resources that matched that state grant that enabled us to then undertake a process where we hired a consultant. We needed to hire a firm that would provide professional expertise to help us look at this alignment. So then we went through a bidding process and we hired Mitesh Kunkel. And Jack Porter and Stephen are our consultants who have been working with us on this process. This is, I think what they're presenting to us today is a conceptual plan. You can talk about what stage we are in the process. We're doing a round of public meetings this week. Here this is our first public meeting. We'll also be having a meeting tomorrow evening in Tarentum, and then on Saturday at the Boyd Center, which is in O'Hara Township. So we're having a round of public meetings. We'll be getting input from you all, and then there will be a final plan that is released at a later date. And I'll let Jack talk about the time frame for that. But that's where we are. We're in the planning stage for this. This is considered a trail feasibility study.